But the movie that wins tonight, not only are we going to watch and put on Patreon full uncut as always, but it will also come to YouTube as an edited reaction. So let's hope to God that it lands on one that we like, because I don't know if I can bear editing another movie reaction that I don't care for. Oh! Master and Commander.
Okay.
All right, guys, it's that time yet again. It's time to watch a movie from the Wheel of Mystery. What will we think of Master and Commander, Alex?
I don't know. I hope it's good. My only thing, I think it's a ship movie. You know, hopefully not a submarine ship. But I think it's more of a pirate base. Why are we talking about it before you've even seen it?
Every movie is a complete wild card. You know what I mean? In terms of, you know, we've watched stuff that people recommend and we absolutely love. You know, and then there's ones that we've hated and a whole bunch we've been lukewarm on. You know, it's like it's just so all over the place. Today, this one is from two longtime patrons, Joe Concepts and Thomas Monk, and I would like to think they've been with us since like day one. That you know they would pick one that we like, but you know at the end of the day, people are picking movies they like and they want us to like it. You know, we have most of them. Inner Space was a fun time, and Contact I really enjoyed. So it's been going good lately. It's just I look at this runtime and yeah, it's not the longest movie in the world, but anytime it's over that 2 hours, I'm like, all right,
like, come on.
It's like we'll see.
It's like, you guys realize, the longer the movie is, the more chance there is for us to hate it, because there's more stuff that can happen.
The more that happens. Yeah, guys, I have TikTok brain rot, okay? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Rip Fox.
R.I.P.
I know you don't like this.
Reading? Russell Crowe's a really good actor.
Oh, yeah.
This would have been coming off of Gladiator, A Beautiful Mind.
What
Did
year
you
is
ever
it?
see A Beautiful Mind?
No.
That's good. This is 03.
Holy shit.
Lord of the Rings?
Pippin and Return of the King came out this year. That's crazy.
What is it, Slade?
Well, they heard something. Sounded like a bell.
Something in the water.
We're gonna need a bigger boat, sir.
That's a reference to Trump.
By the mark.
The NGK.
5 fathom.
I'm gonna pull one of those bad boys out in my everyday life now.
It's so funny. Just
When you're in like a traffic jam, look out your window.
We shall beat to quarters!
well, if they didn't know your position, they do now with that drum. Well, actually, the sound doesn't care. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh shit.
Woo! They knew he was a big deal. That's why they had to give him that reveal.
Oh. Down! All hands down!
Oh, there we go.
Well, I'm glad that guy's the captain, because if that was me, I'd be like, oh, there's a lightning storm in the distance. Red lightning, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad they chose someone who has literally any idea.
Engaged enemy frigate at 6 bells.
Glad to know they were doing knuckle tattoos, like badass knuckle tattoos even back then.
Yep.
Guys, hold steady! Wilson!
God, the guts. Like, whole position after the person right next to you was just blown away. Ah, yes. Oh, I love that when the water gets on the camera.
I'm doing everything I can. I know you were close to his father.
Paul Bettany.
What?
Damn, he was good. Just came out of nowhere.
Holy shit, good call.
Just with a full broadside. Cut across our tail and took out our rudder.
Didn't recognize him without the vision makeup. I already forgot the opening title exposition.
From what I'm gathering, these guys are English, and they were fighting the French.
She's in her prime.
Well, we can patch up the main and mizzen foresail stuff on, I'm afraid, so we'll bend our spare.
What?
She could be halfway to Cape Horn by the time we repaired and underway.
Well then, there's not a moment to lose.
So here's what I know about Napoleon. Not a good guy. Got exiled. Then came back for 100 days. Then exiled again. He was short. That's what I know about Napoleon.
He was played by Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, did you see that? That's something we should bring back though as a society. Exile.
But not like a nice, hospitable island, just a terrible, prison island.
It's one of the cliche, like, small island with one palm tree and sharks around it.
Oh no, you know what that's for?
Amputation?
I was gonna say it'd be funny if they took like a comically large mallet and.
I've never seen a braver patient.
Yeah, I know. I'd still be.
Makes me think they didn't cut it off.
I feel like maybe it was already pretty, like, numb or pretty much done, you know?
Yeah.
Nice work there, you'd never know.
That won't do. He's relaxed. Just lamb on his dog.
I love when movies cast like. This is gonna sound terrible, but like. Ugly people.
For the ship to almost be a relation.
Like, average-looking people.
Yeah.
Like, you have Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany and then a bunch of normal people surrounding them.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
What are they lobotomizing him?
I think he got, like, shot in the head or something.
He's still
His
alive.
brains, Doctor.
No, that's just dried blood. Those are his brains.
Ah!
Oh, that's hilarious because it's similar to those surgery scenes where it's like people watching from above. It's like the same thing, but in 1805.
Back to work, you loafers! Eckhart!
Yeah, there's an entire ship to run here. Oh my god, did it
Lord
cut it off?
Blakeney. Feeling better?
Much better, thanks.
Oh, his right hand too.
Yeah, I hope he's left-handed. Or did they not exist back then? Back then, if you were left-handed, possessed. Exorcism.
May I beg you to tell me what kind of man he is?
You should read the book.
I thought it was gonna be like the reveal on Oppenheimer. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy.
It very well could have been a reveal like that, and we're just too fucking dumb to know who that is. There's a very good chance. So strap in. It's gonna happen a lot.
Yeah, well, strap tight.
Yeah, strap tight. I like to think back then it's like, that's their winding down. Play violin.
But what are their hobbies? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like activities that are extracurricular. Oh, let's play music. Maybe they were musicians before the war. It gives a little more depth to the characters. Now, what are their names? I have no idea.
I think it's Russell and Paul.
Bluff above the water and sharp below. Gives her hull a finer entry on a long run as she goes aft. That's why she's so fast.
Oh, that's the ship they were fighting.
Boats weren't always like that?
That's the future. What a fascinating modern age we live in.
To take her. She's out of our class.
They're still trying to convince him to go back. This guy's obviously too prideful. I really like the camera technique of, like, mimicking the rocking of a boat. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You can tell the camera's just moving a little bit, but it's not, obnoxious.
Yeah.
What is it with this man?
He fights like you, Jack.
Yeah, true. He doesn't want to give up either.
Yeah, get out of there, kid. I don't know if they explained it, but are they lighting lights to draw attention away from where they're going to be shooting from? Yeah, I don't know. Keep some lights lit and some not.
Oh no. What? Yeah, like, it's a distraction, because, like, they can no longer see the main ship.
Oh, yeah.
Take the helm, Bondon.
Now tell me that wasn't fun.
Dies of hypothermia.
Yeah, I was about to say, that water's got to be freezing.
Just shooting at this little sailboat.
Little decoy, yeah.
Stand the men down, Mr. Pullings. I'll take this watch.
That was pretty smart.
But at some point, they got to realize, oh, they're not shooting back. Nothing's happening.
Well, they're all going to celebrate because they think they won. Like, we'll go over there at the sunrise.
If we can close this gap and get up behind her, she may well be ours.
I'm just fascinated. How do they film this? Did they just get like a giant warehouse, fill up a tank? Because I doubt they went on the real damn ocean.
No, all real. They didn't even control the conditions. They just had to go with it.
Hoist Sisters below!
Fuck that. I'm sorry. Fuck that job. You want me to stay at the top of this mast during the storm and hold on to these ropes? No safety harnesses.
I'm just imagining you on this ship, just like fucking complaining.
You want me to what?
No.
And they're fucking barefoot. I mean, maybe you have a better grip than it's like I'm picturing climbing the rope with my hands. That hurts enough, but just standing there all day, this rope just shredding the bottom.
We must cut it loose! It's going to sink us! Sir! He's going to make it! He can do it!
Leave him.
So he's got to sacrifice this guy, basically. Imagine how this guy feels. He's like, swim to the wreckage. And then you just see him doing this. Just chopping it off.
Wait! And even scared. It's like, oh yeah, they left you. Fuck. I have many biggest fears, but there's one of them.
I wish he would have thrown up the middle fingers as he's drowning.
I think this other ship totally set them up because they knew they couldn't handle that storm when they could.
Yeah, they took him into some, like, good luck.
It's like, oh, I mean, they had to eventually figure out they were shooting at a decoy at some point. Can't wait to get ripped apart for this one.
That young man was a casualty of war.
Yeah, I totally agree, obviously, with Paul. I mean, it's like, it might as well have died in the battle. It's the same. Like, you had to do it.
My orders were to follow him as far as Brazil. I exceeded my orders a long time ago.
Damn.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, how do they communicate with, like, the motherland if they're just at this ship? There's no ravens.
So he's just making his own choice.
Oh, God.
He said there's no ravens.
That guy.
Is that fucking snow?
Oh. I thought they were going south.
Safe and sound at home again. Let the waters roar, Jack.
Long we tossed on the rolling main.
We should do this more often when we get together with our friends. Just start breaking into song.
Like, what would we break out and sing? 21, wanna give something to you. Like, we just broke it out of bars singing.
What you say?
It looks like a stick.
It's disguised itself in order to survive. And here's an insect. It's taken on the shape of a thorn.
That's crazy.
How, like, crazy nature is like that.
Yeah. Like, how do they have the willpower? Like, I get it, it's over millions of years, but it's
Yeah.
like, just like the thought of like, I think I'd be safe if I looked like this thorn right here.
How that you have the wherewithal to know and be able to perform that. But here's a question: how is that going to play into the rest of the movie? What's going to happen?
The kid will disguise himself on the enemy ship.
As a person with two arms, somehow.
Oh, I was thinking as a thorn.
Oh. What are you doing, boy? Shit. Now the ship will hide as something else, and say, oh.
But do you get what I'm saying? It's like this fucking bug.
Oh, it's insane.
It's like
yeah.
it has no thought. Like, how did it become the thorn? I need to look into this. I'm gonna go get a degree, biology.
Or like the stick bug is the craziest example. It's like, how did it know? How did it know? It's gonna make my body look like this.
Yeah, like when it's having a kid, like laying eggs, looks slightly more like the stick than my last generation.
It's like, how do they manifest it?
Mr. Allen, set a course. West by south.
All hands!
He's like, aw, those new species.
I command a king's ship, not a private yacht. We do not have time for your damned hobbies, sir.
It's like I get both of their arguments, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get why Steven, the doctor, is pissed off, you know? But I also understand what Jack's saying about, like, look, I really can't be concerned with your whatever. Like, I gotta captain the ship.
Found a curious beetle walking on the deck.
Oh.
Were you to walk all day on the island, you might never come across it.
It's nice that the kid that lost his arm at such a young age is like the optimistic one.
Yeah, and empathetic. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you might have never found this if you left the boat. It's like,
Yeah, trying to make him feel better. W kid.
W.
One more week of this and I'll gladly give it all up for the price of a cup of
I
clean
can't make it rain.
That's another fact of the whole cabin fever type thing. It's being locked away with each other for this amount of time. It's like,
Yep. Can't go anywhere.
talk about the two dudes going against each other, but the whole crew turning against each other, it's even better. Oh, shit.
Master at arms, take that man below and clap him in irons.
Aye, sir.
8, 9, 10.
I don't know if they'd do this to someone, but... Oh, do they think that this guy was responsible for him being whipped? Oh, God.
Regardless if he's responsible or not, like, they're still going to blame him because that's why it happened, you know, whether it was his choice or not.
Yeah.
Captain thinks we'll get our win tomorrow.
I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to kill himself.
I was going to hold a cannonball. Yep.
Great shot. But my whole thing is, you know, pretty sure, like, your body, like, your brain, like, won't allow you to drown yourself. Like, he would have, I guess by the time he, like, lets go of it, it would be too late.
Maybe,
by the time
yeah.
he's, like, you know, swim back
Yeah,
up.
there's some sort of primal instinct where it's like he's going to drop that.
But it'll just be too late by that point.
Yeah.
What terrible timing.
But you know the men are like,
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking dude with the scars like,
Yeah.
I told ya. I fucking told ya.
that was good though. That was great.
Doctor, have you seen the bird that's following us?
What sort of bird?
Some sort of albatross.
Really?
Either that or he's a prodigious great mew.
What are you gonna catch it? Oh, dude's gonna kill it. He's gonna get upset.
Doctor? My God, Doctor! The bird dropped low. I didn't see you.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
Maybe there's enough to the side. No, these people are doctors probably. Oh no, it's too close. That's too close.
Dude, how about that guy who shot him? Get him out of it. What the hell? Throw him in the... They got a brig?
Oh, he's still alive.
I know, I'm just waiting for it at this point.
Oh, did they take him to the island?
This wasn't on my account.
Not at all. I just needed to stretch my legs.
And they had the other ship in their sights too, so he made the dam.
Dean, please.
Yeah, come on, man.
You have one job, pal.
Oh, it's gonna show it all from that angle.
Respect for hopefully keeping him alive. Because I thought for sure they were just going to bury him there.
You're right.
Ooh! My boy's in there. Then when he pulls it out, it's gonna go... Yep, now it's gonna bleed.
Oh my god. You pulled out my stomach!
That's my fucking liver. Sew this man up!
But he died during the stitching.
The stitches were infected.
Or even better, just iron in the fire.
Oh, the solderizing? There's any wound.
Yeah.
The only solution.
The only solution.
It's camp, sir.
No, to the other side of the island.
But, sir, there must be at least 10 miles.
Well, then there's not a moment to lose.
Brother was shot, but he's just
Right back to work.
right back to work. He's fine. I'm not an expert, but I think that was the French
That was
flag.
a French, yeah. Oh,
Put
now
those
you're
down.
right.
Leave them. Just put everything down.
Take him out of the cages first.
Open the cages.
That sucks.
They're miles away from the original habitat. They all die.
They are cooked.
It's a rare phasmid, sir. It's an insect that disguises itself as a stick. in order to confuse its predators.
What's he thinking? What? We must disguise the ship as a stick.
I think you missed the point there, Shaq.
It might be a little on the nose.
Why would a giant stick be on the sea, Shaq? No, I think the point is that we're supposed to dress up as a French. No.
Thank you, Stephen, for this.
No. Make the ship look like a giant thorn.
You didn't even know about that animal.
You want a part of that scene. Fucking hell.
Now to pull this predator in close, spring our trap.
Jack,
Yes.
you're the predator.
But there are also predators that disguise themselves to trick the prey, like a Venus flytrap. Name one other example.
English Weller Siren! This is Acheron! Let's fly!
I think that was part of the priority. Show our flags!
Pipe down! Silence!
Better check to see if those pieces of shit are playing dead.
Looks like the job is done, sir.
Why would you say that? Oh!
Jack, get out of there!
Set up a trap to lead them in, and they set one to lead you in.
Can't believe that guy just got fucking shot in the dome.
Like right after his comical. I think we did it.
It's like, just think about dying like that. It's like, oh man, we killed him. You're dead. It's like, nope. It's like, that's your last thought.
Before the captain died, he said I was to give you this.
Wow. Okay.
Give this to the man that killed me.
I was about to say, can we get a face shot from my boy? There he is. Rip.
I met that doctor. I spoke to him.
No, he died of fever months ago.
Divini. Pass the word for Mr. Mowat.
That doctor who gave him the sword, that's actually the captain.
Well, Stephen, the bird's flightless.
Yes.
It's not going anywhere.
But also, like, even if that is the captain, it's like, he gave him the sword, so he surrendered, basically. Well, he just wants to kill him? Is this the end?
I think so. I wouldn't call this an isolation movie per se, but in a way it kind of is because everything's with it. I would say the first half is because I love the inner turmoil of what's happening on the ship, and like the heart of the movie is Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany back and forth. It's a very Kirk and Bones relationship, and I like that. But this Kirk is a little bit more, gotta get him, you know, it's like, because they ran out of orders a while ago. So, well, obviously we came across this ship, we gotta go after this ship. And the other dude, Paul Bettany, just wants to, you know, study, just wants to study animals on this island. And then it turns into, I mean, I guess the beginning and the end are kind of, you know, war films per se. And it's like, watching cannons over and over again doesn't do it for me. It's like, oh, this is neat. But then once, you know, once they get onto the ship and then reveal the French were hiding, kind of like how they were hiding and sprung their own kind of trap. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. But overall, I mean, that's a lot to kind of just sum up this whole movie. But I like this movie a lot.
I just wanted to look up what else the director has made real quick. Let's see. Before this, his previous movie to this he directed was The Truman Show.
Oh, wow, really?
He also directed Dead Poets Society. I mean, look.
Competent filmmaker.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to say that this isn't a well-made movie. I mean, it's obviously extremely well-made. The direction especially. That's why I was interested in looking him up, because the direction, the cinematography, gotta respect. I'm sure it was hell going through all that stuff to make this and make it look good. I'm sure there was, special effects used here and there, but a lot of it looked very real, very good, and very practical. This isn't my kind of movie, and it's like, I enjoyed it. There are parts of it that I really enjoyed. I would say, this is like kind of rare for me to say, but I almost liked the second act the best, like
Really?
the middle of the movie. Like, once they had like their first skirmish with the French, and then they did the whole decoy ship thing, and once it got into more so just the argument between Russell Crowe is the captain, Jack, and Steven is the doctor, their arguments and him wanting to go on this island.
Oh, okay, yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
all that.
and all that. Basically from that leading all the way through, Paul Bettany being shot, everything with the guy, everyone turning on the one guy and saying he's the curse and him having to jump off. That's where all of that is where I felt that more isolated, cabin fever type feel, and just the animosity of the captain, and Paul Bettany. Enjoyed all of that. Once we got back on, back into the going after the French again. I mean, yeah, it's just not my thing. And I'm not even saying just from a war perspective or like a war movie or anything. I'm also just saying like, it's a period piece. It's either like you're interested in it or you're not. And it's like, no matter how well the movie is made and like the actors are very good at their roles, I just couldn't get into it. And when I was able to get into it, it wasn't the story of what was going on. It was the character interaction and, oh, I don't want Paul Bettany to die and like things like that is what I cared about.
Mm-hmm.
The more character meaty part of the story. The whole thing with the French, like I really just don't care. It's not my thing. And then the war battles were well done as well. Like the beginning, the opening was really cool, really well done. The climax, like, I feel like I'm agreeing with a lot of what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think I was, at no point in this movie was I like invested.
What do you say this is in the middle for you between, like, this movie's in the middle, right? Master and Commander.
Mm-hmm.
On the far down side is Hunt for Red October, and on the other side is Crimson Tide. Would you say this is kind of like in the middle for you?
Yeah, in terms of just my enjoyment of it, yes. I would not argue with anybody who said of those three movies, Crimson Tide was the least, like, well-made or, like, expert, filmmaking. Because I understand Crimson Tide, like, I really enjoy that for what it is, and it hits my checklist, but, I mean, it's a well-made movie, too. But, like, I get it that, like, this one, as well as Hunt for Red October, are just, like, well-made films. But it's just the story I really couldn't get into. But I do agree that, yes, I would put this one more in the middle because at least this one has characters.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. The second act of this movie was my favorite part. We're learning about Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany and their bonding and their disputes, and they have those great scenes at the dinner table. I'm like, oh, I care about these characters, or when they're singing or whatever. It's like, oh, and like the kid actor with the one arm, which is great. But once it got back to just war, I'm just like, oh. Like, I like the whole turmoil between these two characters and, like, the cabin fever, The Thing, Hateful Eight, just, like, we're stuck on this ship. It sucks. And, like, we go into more detail of how the crew feels about certain crew members. It's like, all that is fantastic. And then, like, it's hilarious because, like, the exact moment the second act ends and the third begins is that moment when he's looking at the bug.
beetle, yeah.
And it's like, ah, shit.
Yeah, I mean,
we got to get back to the plot.
Yeah,
Fuck!
I mean, it was literally like, he's looking at the beetle, looks up and sees the French ship, and then they all start running back to the ship, and he's like, drop the animals, and drops all the animals, and it was literally like a metaphorical moment, like, to me, like, I'm like, all right, I gotta get back to the movie.
Yeah, it's like, oh, gotta drop this plot, and we gotta get back to this whole thing, because I'm not invested in that. You know what I mean? It's like, you show me a title card at the beginning and like what their job is. It's like 5 seconds later, I forgot what the title card said.
Yeah, and also too, I mean, this French ship, like, we do in one quick scene see who's supposed to be their captain dead, but it's actually the doctor, or who knows if it's even that person, but like their captain is somewhere alive, is revealed at the end, and like, beyond that, they're just faceless enemies. Like, they don't matter. They're just the French. There's no character there. And, I don't even know what war this is. Like, I'm not a history guy, so it's like, I just... And here's also the thing that comes down for me, and this is where I think you might disagree with me here, but, Russell Crowe, his performance was good. It's not his fault. But this character, I mean... compare this to all of the captains that we've seen. Now, I get it, TV show, it's a lot different, but, like, the dude was just a captain. It's like, were there some fun moments? Did he have charisma? Like, yeah, but I give that all to Russell Crowe. It's like, nothing in the writing of this character, of this captain, like, made me interested in him at all. He was just like, I'm the captain, I want to go do this, and that's it. And the one cool moment for his character, like you pointed out, was when, Paul had been shot, he was about to die, he sees the ship in the distance, his character decides to go, let him onto the island, or get him fixed first, and then let him walk the island. But then it just gets back to the movie anyway. And then at the end, it's like, it's almost in a joking manner, but at the end he's like, oh, the captain's still alive. All right, back to it. But it's like, so it's like, it's just like no growth really in that character, which, I mean,
or if there is no growth, I just wish there was like a punishment almost for him, like, because he's beyond his orders, right? I think that's what the movie was telling us. It's like,
yeah, he did what he was supposed to do. Yeah,
it's like he, he makes the right choice earlier. He saves Paul Bettany, but seeing the ship again, like, drives him to like go after it again, and it costs him like maybe more than Paul Bettany's life in the second time. Like, maybe like he's so driven by like trying to defeat this thing that he almost lost Paul Bettany the first time. The second time he does, plus more. Yeah, I don't know. The great thing with Kirk or any of the captains is that we have a lot of time to spend with that character and see him interact with other characters. I'm just trying to compare this to other captains we've seen in film. Gene Hackman from Crimson Tide. I don't know, he had a pretty good camaraderie with the boys. I just feel like we needed more of Russell Crowe with the boys.
I mean, there was a couple good scenes where they're all drinking and they're singing, joking.
Yeah.
But, like, I also don't care about anyone else. Like, all those other, as we joked as the normal people, the normal-looking, not actor people. Like, none of them were, like, fleshed out enough except for the boy. W. Child, great child performance.
Great child performance.
We're hard on child performances, and like that kid was awesome. So got to give him his flowers. I don't know if he continued acting.
And also, what a great scene to like establish him, like a scene where you feel empathy for the kid. He's getting his arm cut off, so we're already like prompted to like him, like right away. It's like, oh, this kid had his arm amputated.
I don't know who that is, but
like,
you can keep going.
Like, what a badass! You know what I mean? It's like, granted, it's followed up by a great, likable performance, but I feel like even if it wasn't that great, I'd still like, yeah, the kid was fine. But no, yeah, just a great establishment for that kid. But when the other one died, I didn't care because he was kind of, annoying.
Yeah. This was his very first acting. He was in a show called Rome, 13 episodes. Then in something called The Quiet Ones in 2014 and Racing Hearts in 2014, and then never acted again. So... that's sad. But he was great here, so good for him. But yeah, he was great, but it's like I just didn't care enough about the other characters, and like, look, I felt a little bit the same way here about, Crimson Tide, Hunt for Red October, these other things that we watch where it's like, I get it. We watch and we love Star Trek, and I just get the feeling now from all of these movie recommendations that people kind of like treat that as like, oh, well, it's a crew, just like in any other movie where there's a ship and a crew, except this one's in space. And it's like, for me personally, I get those connections, and I get like, you have the captain, the number one, XO, whatever it is.
That's not why we like the show.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not why I like Star Trek. And it's like, so basically I'm going into a movie like this where it's like, yes, there is a captain of a ship, but it's like, we're just ripping away all the things I like about Star Trek and we're putting it in this period piece drama that I don't care about. And then on top of that, the plot is basically a plot of a Star Trek episode I wouldn't like, typically. Like, just a space battle, right? But it's just a ship battle. And it's like, while I can appreciate, the filmmaking here of it being well made, it's just not my type of movie in the same way as Hunt for Red October. And I think the only reason Crimson Tide separates that is because, like I've said before, that's not a war movie. Like, it's a movie about those characters on that submarine. Yeah. And so that's why I love that one. I mean, you said you really liked the movie, so I don't want to speak for you.
I like period piece movies, like,
And I do not.
Yeah, like, and I love like one location or one time period. But I will agree, like, that second act, that's what I'm looking for. It's like watching cannons and stuff go off is fine, but it's like I just love that turmoil. Like, I needed that like whole crew turning on each other type thing, and captain has to come together to bring the boys back in. But I realize this is a film. We've talked about this, like, spectacle. You know what I mean? It's like maybe that second act would make a great episode of a TV show. But it's like, but also like, oh, it's a movie. We got big battle, big shit.
Yeah, and like judging it on what it wanted to do, it did it all well. And it's like, that's why I'm like, I'm not even saying that like the movie's bad or anything like or even that it's not good. Like, I think the movie is very well made. Like, I totally get people loving this. It's just, I'm talking about me personally. Like, this isn't the type of thing I'm into. I gave it a chance. I got some good stuff out of it, some stuff I enjoyed. With that being said, it's like, I think my favorite part was like you making the joke about them realizing it was a decoy ship. So it's like, when my favorite thing about watching it is like a joke you made, it's like, I'm not going to come away really remembering any of this movie. And that's not the movie's fault. Again, that's just me and my personal preferences. It's just not my thing. So I have to be honest about that. But I do acknowledge that there's really nothing in this movie flaw-wise that I had.
So it's a great, well-made film. I think for you, yeah, just personal preference. I mean, there's nothing in this movie that made me go. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and I wasn't like bored out of my mind. Like, was I sometimes bored? Yes, but I wasn't. Like, I was more so just like waiting for the stuff. You know, okay, what's gonna happen that I enjoy, and like we got some stuff, but there were times where I'm like, yeah, this is a long ass movie about something that I don't really care about.
Yeah. But similar to a Star Trek episode you don't care about. Or whatever. There's good stuff.
Good stuff in there, yeah.
There's good stuff in there.
Absolutely, especially when you have such talented people. And you know, I'm just bringing this up because it's showing here on my TV for like related movies, like Gladiator, for example. Long ass fucking movie. That's also a period piece, and I think Gladiator is excellent. But like, what do I like about that movie? I love the characters. I love, Russell Crowe's character. Joaquin Phoenix is his character in there. You know. That's what I remember from the movie, their rivalry, you know, the scene where he's tied up and he comes up and stabs him right before their fucking battle. It's like, shit like that. It's like, we didn't get any of that here because the French is just this nameless, this faceless enemy. So it's like, that whole element is like, I don't care. And it's like, oh, well, if you knew about this 19th century British and French war, it's like, okay, well, I'm just not that guy. I'm sorry. So, I think that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. And when this hit theaters in 2003, I don't think they're expecting everyone to be aware of, what happened in that war in 1805, 1804, or whatever.
Sure, I just think there are people that do, are very interested in that, and that's totally valid and cool. It's just I can't pretend like I'm that guy, like I'm not. So
it's funny you brought up Gladiator because like during his speech before they board the French ship, I'm like, that wasn't a really good speech. His speech in Gladiator was better.